Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cook Cook Cook. Hope you and your family are doing perfectly well. This video is part of our Onam recipe series, and what we'll be making today is a Onam special sambar, which is a Thenga Varutharacha Sambar. It is going to be a sambar with vegetable or a vegetable sambar, but the twist in it is the Varutharacha Thenga. So you can check out the recipe for our regular sambar on top here. But this is going to be a sambar specifically for the Onam Sadhya. So let's go and look at the ingredients required and the process of making our very special Thenga Varutharacha Sambar. To get started with our sambar, I have a kadai on the stove into which I will put in about 10 red chilies. Once the chilies have got a mild roast, I will add about 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, half teaspoon of jeera, half teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, and we can continue to dry roast them. Once all of these ingredients have got a mild roast, we can add about 1 full cup of grated coconuts. So you can now see that all of our ingredients, that is the grated coconuts, our dried chilies or red chilies, and coriander seeds, jeera and fenugreek have got a nice roast. So now to this I will add half teaspoon of turmeric powder and half teaspoon of asafoetida or cayenne, and give this a quick mix. We do not want to burn these powders, and once you have mixed it, we can transfer this to the mixer to be ground. One tip to remember would be never to grind or powder anything when it's hot. Just let it cool and then we can grind it. Now that we are done dry roasting few of our ingredients, I have my cooker for the next step. So I have about 3/4 cup of tur dal that I will put into the cooker, and we can pour in about 2 cups of water. To this I will add about 250 grams of elephant foot yam or chena, 2 medium sized potatoes, and about 200 grams of white pumpkin, about 10 to 12 cluster beans, and we have about 5 green chilies and 2 large tomatoes. All of these vegetables are roughly diced into pretty large chunks, because once they get cooked in the cooker, if they are too tiny, you would not have any vegetable visible. And after this I will add few curry leaves. So again, make sure to crush your curry leaves a little before you add them into your dish. So I will just gently mix this or press it down into the water and cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes after the first whistle. While our vegetables are cooking in the cooker, what we can get done is to grind our roasted ingredients. So we had dry roasted coconut, red chilies, coriander, jeera and fenugreek. So what we will do is put it into the mixer and grind it. Along with the roasted ingredients, I will add about 7 to 8 cloves of garlic, a handful of shallots or sambar onion. We can now grind this well. Our dal and vegetable has cooked in the cooker for 1 whistle, post which we let it stay for about 4 minutes. And now I've turned off my stove, and we can set this aside until the steam is released. So now that we have set our cooker aside, I have a pan into which I have put in say about 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, and I will add our lady's finger in this or vendakya. So I have about 10 lady's finger, which is approximately about 200 grams. So the only reason we are sauteing this is because it naturally has a stickiness and a sap that always keeps coming out from it. So we just want that to go away before we can add it to the rest of the vegetables. After about 30-40 seconds of sauteing this on a pan, the stickiness is completely gone. Now we can set this aside. So the steam in our cooker is completely escaped, so we can open it up. After you have opened the cooker, we will bring up the heat, and we will first start with adding our dry roasted ingredients that we had ground into a paste. After the masala, I will add our lady's finger, and next I will add 3 drumstick that I've cut into small pieces and about 250 grams of sambar onions. Let's gently mix all of these. You can see that the color and texture of this sambar is now completely changed. Next, we will add 1 cup of tamarind juice. So what I've done is taken about a small ball of tamarind, about the size of a small lemon, and soaked it in lukewarm water and then squeezed out the juice from it. And then to this we can add about 1 to 1.5 teaspoon of salt, or as per your taste. So you can see that the gravy or the sambar is very thick right now. So we would have to dilute it a little to have that perfect flavor and texture of the sambar. So what I will do is, in our mixer jar which we had ground the masala in, I will pour about 1 cup of water and pour it into this. So I've just washed the mixer jar and I've poured in 1 cup of water. So our sambar is still thick, but we will have to cook it again in the pressure cooker. So what I will do is cover it up and cook it for 1 more whistle. Now our cooker is done with its 1 whistle. So I've turned off the stove and we will set this aside and bring back our pan. Into our pan, I will pour in about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Once the oil is hot, I will add half teaspoon of fenugreek, half teaspoon of mustard, and half teaspoon of jeera. Immediately after these start to splutter, we can add 4 shallots sliced, or sambar onions sliced, along with a few curry leaves. So this is the tadka or the seasoning for our sambar. So our onions have turned nice and golden. We can now turn off the stove. And one last ingredient that we have is asafoetida. So I have 1 teaspoon of asafoetida. We do not want to burn it, so it's just to add that additional flavor. Our steam from the cooker has escaped, so we can open it up and see how our sambar is done. You can now see that all of our vegetables have cooked well and we have a nice consistency to the curry or sambar. So to this I will add our tadka that we just prepared. Gently mix everything together, and our next step is the step as usual, where we will just cover the cooker for about 2 minutes so that all of the flavors from the tadka and especially the coconut oil can blend into our curry. So our sambar is now ready. Here is our Onam special Varutharacha Sambar ready. So do try it at home and let us know what you feel about this recipe. Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you and your family a very happy Onam season, and have an awesome day.